Merhaba, merhaba. Biz online olarak ve offline olarak hibrit formatta bu programımıza başlıyoruz. Yüksek teknoloji ve inovasyonlarda yenilikçi yaklaşımlarda kadınların katılımından bahsedeceğiz. Bu etkinliğimiz aslında büyük bir e, etkinlik serisinin bir kısmıdır. Rosatom Devlet Kurumu tarafından organize edilen ve aynı zamanda Rusya Federal Kurulu'nun konseyinin de destekleriyle organize edilen Kadın Teknoloji Liderliği Haftası kapsamında bunu gerçekleştiriyoruz. Ve biz forum açılışı gerçekleştirdik. Women in STEM, teknoloji liderlikte kadınlar ve Rusça, Türkçe, İngilizce etkinliğimiz yayını gerçekleştiriliyor ve rahat olduğunuz dili seçebilirsiniz. Bütün etkinliklerimiz uluslararası teknolojik liderliği kapsamında organize ediliyor. Bu da bir daha şunun altını çiziyor. Kadınlar bilim, teknoloji ve inovasyon alanında uzun zamandır görünmezlikten kurtuldu kadınlar. Birçok örneği vardır. Birçok ülkenin tarihinde. Kadınlar birçok önemli teknoloji gelişiminde katkıda bulundular ve bunlar daha sonra birçok sanayi sektöründe birçok ülkede büyük açılımlarla sonuçlandı. Birçok ödüle layık gördüler, birçok ödül aldılar ve bu da şunu gösteriyor. Aslında bizim tecrübemiz çok yüksektir teknolojik alanlarda ve bugün biz yeni sorunları çözüyoruz, yeni zorluklarla başa çıkabiliyoruz ve biz şunu anlıyoruz, kadınların temsili ve yüksek teknolojinin gelişimindeki katkısı aslında sadece kadın birlikleri, dernekleri veya ayrı bir ülkede çözülebilir bir konu değil, mesele değil. Bu aslında uluslararası işbirliği kapsamında çözülebilecek ve geliştirecek bir konudur. Sadece Rosatom'da biz kadın derneği olarak uluslararası diyaloğu yıllardır devam ettiriyoruz. Rusya pratiğine göre bunu yapıyoruz. Kadınların sanayi şirketlerinde katılımının artırılmasıyla ilgili neler yapılabilir bunları araştırıyoruz ve uyguluyoruz ve geçen yıl uluslararası bir konsey kurulmasını teklif ettik ve şu anda artık 11 ülke bu konseyin katılımcısı, üyesidir. Bazı üyelerle sizi bugün tanıştıracağım. Bugün burada bizimle aynı salondalar ve ve tabii ki onlar da kendi görüşlerini paylaşacaklar ve bunun dışında bir belge hazırlıyoruz. Belge kapsamında en iyi uygulamalar, pratik ve inisiyatifler hem devlet seviyesinde hem büyük iş kurumları seviyesinde hem de uluslararası kadın topluluğu seviyesinde kadının teknoloji ve yüksek teknolojide katılımını nasıl artırabileceğimizi konuşacağız. Tabii ki katılımcılarımız bu konuda çok bilgili. Biliyorsunuz ki kadın topluluğu çok yönlü bir topluluktur. Farklı proje ve farklı başlangıçlarımız var. Fakat bugün biz profesyonel olarak kadınların gelişiminden bahsedeceğiz. Hangi büyük şirketler e, hangi imkanları büyük şirketler sunuyor bu alanda ve özellikle de yönetim ekiplerinde bu konuyla ilgili neler yapılıyor? Bu sisteme başlıyoruz ve Tatiana Terentyeva Rosatom'dan şunun altını tekrar çizdi. Büyük kuruluşlar kendi stratejik hedefleri kapsamında eşit imkanlar politikasını ve kapsayıcılık ilkelerini dahil ediyorlar stratejilerine. Daha kalifiye uzmanlar, profesyonel olarak kendilerini geliştirmek isteyen, projelerin uygulamasına katkısını sağlamak isteyen ve teknolojinin gelişimine katkı sağlamak isteyen erkek olsun kadın olsun herkes bunu yapabilir. Bu imkanlar kullanımı hazırdır. Bunu tekrar bugün konuşmacılarımızla gözden geçireceğiz, konuşacağız. Onlarla sizi tanıştıracağım. Bugün çok sembolik olarak bir etkinliğimiz organize edilmiştir. Mersin'de, Silifke'deyiz ve biz bugün burada biliyorsunuz Akkuyu nükleer güç santralinin inşaat şantiyesinin yanındayız ve aslında bu şunu gösteriyor. Rusya Federasyonu ve Türkiye Cumhuriyeti arasındaki işbirliği çok yüksek düzeyde gerçekleştiriliyor. Bu proje kapsamında inovasyon çok yüksek seviyede. Bu projede kapsayıcılık ve insan sermayesinin ne kadar etkin kullandığını görebiliyoruz ve kadınların profesyonel olarak bilim ve teknolojiye katılımından bahsetmemiz gerekirse şunu görebiliriz. Rusya tarafından olsun, Türkiye tarafından olsun böyle bir işbirliği var ve bugün böyle büyük bir projenin yanında fiziksel olarak bulmamız da ayrı bir atmosfer katıyor buna. Şimdi sözü ben bizim ilk konuşmacımıza vermek istiyorum. Gülnar Belediye Başkanı Alparslan Ünüver. Teşekkürler geldiğiniz için, bizim etkinliğimize katıldığınız için ve e, burada e, burada güzel kadınlarla birliktesiniz. Bu sizi e, çekinmenize sebep olmasın. Lütfen Sayın Ünüver.
Strengthening of women's rights. I believe that such events can also be conducted and held in the municipality that I am heading up. I'd like to invite you all to such events. Yes, the Akuyo nuclear power station. Let's say that I'm a teacher. I've been teaching at the elementary school for 26 years, and when I consider when I look into the future of our country, I consider our uh, pupils that come to our elementary school. When I was a high schooler, there was a discussion on whether or not the nuclear energy should be utilized in our country or not. And later on, I learned that the nuclear energy is the green energy. I've always sided with everything green. Like myself and my family and many people in the city of Gulnar believe that the nuclear energy is something our country needs very much. I'd like to underscore once again that as the head of the Gulnar municipality 3 years ago, our government and our district administration, jointly with the government, have designed a joint project, and over 30,000 men and women are employed by the nuclear power station, and they provide their services on all possible levels, from the lowest one to the highest level. And many of these people, since they are here, for the most part, we have a lot of women working there, and our municipality um, has provided an office, and for those that would like to be employed by the nuclear power station, uh, provided us with their resumes, their CVs, and we have collected their CVs in our office. And on top of that, the director of the Akuyu Power and Nuclear Power Station and different leaders operating on different levels of our working at different levels of our district administration and in the government, we would get together to discuss what kind of human resources we have available and what kind of needs does the company have, and whether the people that will be employed and want to be employed by the nuclear power station. These people have been, we have grouped them up, and last year when I learned that this issue has to do with women, and when I was responding to that, when I learned about how many women would like to work at the nuclear power station, over 700 women would like to be employed by the nuclear power station. Of them, 113 have been employed by the nuclear power station via our office. Of course, even previously, we know that there has been an agreement between the Russian Federation and Turkey that under which students have been sent to the Russian Federation to study, and if we had human resources, men and women, that would be able to contribute to the operation of the nuclear power station, they would also occupy those positions. So the first steps, the initial steps, are always problematic and challenging, as you know. But as far as I can see, the Akuyu nuclear power station is a very successful project that is rapidly implemented. Our president has frequently visited the project site. Our Minister of Energy is visiting frequently the construction site. Many people from Russia come to visit it. I was talking about the Gulnar municipality, the Gulnar district. In the near future, we're going to carry on to the next stage of activities in our office, whereby we will provide services to technicians and engineers. As our engineers are also developing and gaining experience, they're going to undergo an interim period at the nuclear power station, and if in the future, when we construct the second and third nuclear power station, by then we will have a technical personnel, a personnel of technicians that would be qualified. By that time, many people did not know that we will launch the nuclear power stations, and many people, even if many people had an opportunity to be educated in certain professional areas of proficiency relating to the nuclear power stations, power station operations, they didn't do it because they did not know that this would be required. But in the future, this will be well required as we will establish many more jobs in the nuclear energy sector with the support of the Russian Federation. I'd like to emphasize that hundreds of years ago, our forefathers have come here from Central Asia. and Gulnar Hatun is the lady that was my predecessor, and it was in her honor that our district was named after her, and as she was struggling for the rights of her people, of our people, and also women in our district. Well, I would like to familiarize you with this, that Rosatom jointly with Rosatom and Akuyu Nuclear Power Station, we have opened up a local women's club or center to exhibit how much we to showcase how much how much do we value women, and perhaps I did not speak as I was supposed to speak regarding the subject matter, but when talking about women, I should say that all the I talked about all the places where women feel secure, and if you have any questions to ask, I would be glad to answer them in line with our concepts, in line with our subject. We want to hear them. You have just set up the appropriate environment for our event, because on Monday, when we launched our international forum in Ankara, representatives of the nuclear energy sector of Turkey, the representatives of W20, our dear partners and friends, have told us a lot about the support for women, support provided for women in the Republic of Turkey, which is conducive to the comprehensive development of girls and women and popularization of scientific and technical professions amongst women. These are the activities that are currently underway with the support of businesses and the government, as we're so happy that various opportunities are expanded and launched for girls, and the implementation of such a scalable project as the construction of Akuyu nuclear power station is the largest ever project of the Russian-Turkish cooperation, and we as women also believe we should provide a new impetus to the development of the dialogue between women specialists from Russia and Turkey. And once again, I would like to thank you for this warm speech, and I'd like to ask you to give our speaker the round of applause. And since we started talking about the Akuyu project, and we will be talking about it a lot, I'd like to introduce to you our next speaker, Tatiana Makarchuk, Deputy Director of the NPP under construction and the Technical Director. I was just corrected. Tatiana is the counselor of the technical director of NPP under construction. Well, Tatiana, both myself and our distinguished Alparslan have provided some information about this project, and you, of course, are a role model because you've been working for this project for many years, as we have come to learn today. What kind of opportunities does this project unveil for ladies and girls and women, and for all those that have fallen in love with this large-scale construction project? And if you can share with us with your impressions, share your impressions with us regarding your activity for the sake of this project. Dear colleagues, it's a great pleasure to hear warm words spoken about us both from Alexandra and as well as the mayor of the Gunnar town. Of course, it's a great pleasure for me to welcome all of you here in this beautiful room. I'd like to tell you something about myself. I've been working for the nuclear sector for a long time, ever since I graduated from the Faculty of Radiochemical Processes of the Nuclear Energy Sector. And the particular area of my activity has to do with the treatment of radioactive waste, and this is the activity that I've been conducting as the counselor or advisor over the past year. Prior to that, I headed up the technical directorate from day one of its establishment. Back then I started out on that activity being alone, and then we gathered together about 300 lead specialists from the Russian Federation, as well as including our young specialists that have graduated from universities from the Russian Federation, as well as from the Republic of Turkey. You probably remember the lots of graduates that have graduated from our universities, and their eyes were sparkling because of the opportunities to implement our dreams and our professional ideas. So our project provides for a great number of opportunities, and I can tell you that I was initially employed by the enterprise of the Ministry of Agricultural Machine Building. That happened over 40 years ago, and over the past 40 years, I got an incredible experience, and I'd like to thank both the ministry and the Russian Federation for the knowledge and experience and the competencies that I was provided with over the past years of operating in the sector. This is invaluable, and I believe that all the Turkish young specialists and the specialists of the Republic of Turkey that have joined our project and are successfully working for the benefit of this project will be able to apply their knowledge that they have acquired both in the universities of Turkey and the Russian Federation, as well as in colleges and so on. So, of course, we are so happy to see all of you and to help you implement and develop your career, including the supplementary education that is provided, supplementary education opportunities that are provided by our company. Our education is optimized and it's a high-tech. Our project is the high-tech one, and this project is optimized, and many young specialists have already undergone the interim period at the Voronezh nuclear power plant, NPP, and also participated in maintaining the nuclear power station's operations. Now we have launched very recently. We have launched the simulator, which is used by our young specialists, and very soon they will be provided with the certificates of nuclear power regulators of the Republic of Turkey. So I in this way, our company is providing all the necessary opportunities to for the for the project participants to perfect their knowledge and expertise. Perhaps the type of fuel will alter. Perhaps the type of fuel will become improved, and the technological processes of radioactive waste treatment will maybe might change as well, because science is undergoing development as well, and all the modern day technologies are also implemented. Our project includes the cutting edge developments that have been worked out by Russian engineers. Microphone, please. Please ask her to speak into the microphone. And so I was one of the people that also hired the Nukem company to implement this project, and that happened back in 2012. And the appropriate decisions were signed by Rosatom to allow us to successfully use and utilize both the equipment that has been delivered to our nuclear power plant, its installation, and very soon we expect to start the very soon we will launch this equipment. So we believe that our young specialists, our young female specialists will successfully make their contribution to the innovative technologies. What are these technologies all about? We're talking about the cutting edge developments. You know, they are based upon minute details as we see some nuances and some aspects, and it's the women's mindset that is capable of considering the small particles of the big picture to modernize it and to improve these minute details and aspects to introduce them into the technological process, because we as women have been provided with the necessary competencies by the nature to do this type of activity, and we can openly see the successful outcomes of our activity. We've been awarded with 4 licenses. We developed the necessary documentation. We also conducted additional scientific research activities to come up with the new type of nuclear fuel. And we worked out the modern day technologies allowing us to treat this fuel as we're using the generation 3 plus equipment, and the security level is of the highest possible level on our enterprise on our NPPs. Thanks to the participation of the Turkish specialists and the assistance of the regulator, we continue to improve these technologies to solve the challenging issues of concern for the regulator. So in this way, we actually are increasing the level of security of our NPP's operations. And in this context, every staff member of our NPP is very important. Even those people that are employed by our technical and chemical laboratories, even those that are working with water that is used. We're talking about huge volumes of water. utilized when launching MPPs, and that water should be properly treated. And we have quite a complex water and chemical regime to maintain, and thanks to this water chemical regime that we will be able to maintain the critical operability of our MPP. And this activity is one that can only be implemented by the but by the female staff members, because only women um, can fulfill this activity at the laboratories. So if you have any questions to ask, I would be happy to answer them, and I'd be happy to share my knowledge and experience, because I've gone through all the stages possible. I have the patents and relating to the innovations that have been implemented in Ukraine and in other countries, including Bulgaria. Let's give Tatiana a great round of applause. This is the kind of women specialists that are working to implement the scalable projects, innovative projects, and of course, any project, most important resource has to do with people, and it's important that in the energy sector, in the nuclear energy sector, we see a mosaic of professions that are made available for girls and women. Over in Russia, thanks to the implementation of the national strategy in the interests of women, and meaning that we have a document that has been adopted on the highest level to ensure the role of girls and women and in the development of different areas, including the technological areas of the 2 years ago, there have been about 400 professions, 400 trades that have been forbidden for women's participation. Well, there have been some objective reasons for that to have happened, but as the digitalization is moving on and the technologies are developing, right now the list of forbidden trades and professions has reduced 3 times. As the leader of female community of Rosatom, I can tell you that nowadays our girls are occupying the positions of mechanics. They participate in the construction of MPPs. They are piloting different projects and are working for different laboratories. I'm saying this to confirm what Tatiana said, that it's true that nowadays we have a lot of opportunities for women to choose different professions of technological nature, because as even Alparslan said initially, that nowadays girls and women are not only working in the conventional areas like accounting, etc., but also they are increasingly working for technological and high-tech sector. I would ask our technical specialists to introduce to us to Katalin Leimeter. She's business division power. She's a specialist of business division power plants from EU. Katalin, can you see and hear us? Yes, I hear you. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Well, we have even touched upon the subject of mentorship today, saying that today a lot of women are choosing education in scientific and technical areas, although all over the world, we have a good worldwide statistics regarding women's representation in STEM, and only 30% of women are represented in the STEM areas. Kathleen, can you share your vision with us regarding how much we can cooperate with women in you can cooperate with the STEM areas, and perhaps you have some experience in your company, and you could say something about the role modeling. Thank you very much for the invitation to participate in such an event. It's beautiful that such events are held. They are of great importance for the current generation and for the future generations. I can tell you that the mentorship is one of the most important foundations for the high-tech experience. I was responsible for the procurements for Rosatom's procurements in Hungary. It's a beautiful thing to be mentored by great women, women that operate in the turbine technology sector, and well, I was mentored, and thanks to that mentorship, I learned everything that I know right now. Technical specialist, could you tell me? I actually developed a presentation. Can we share it on the screen? We are going to ask and to ask him to share the screen. Yes, we can see the screen, but I cannot control the presentation. You just tell us next slide, and we will turn them. We'll move on forward. If you don't mind, I will introduce my presentation in English. I was told that this would be easier. We actually are broadcasting languages. That's why speakers can choose any language they feel more comfortable with to speak. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me today. My name is Katalin Limater. I'm a sales manager of business division power plants of Elimotoren. That is a company based in Austria. We produce electrical equipment for various industries, such as nuclear power plants as well. And the electrical equipment is mostly electrical motors and generators. So today I would like to give you an overview of my journey with nuclear machinery and give you some insights for success. To start with, could you please turn the next two slides? So to start with, I would give you just a short overview of my personal and professional background. The next slide, please. In terms of my education, I graduated from GIMO University, that is the Moscow State Institute of International Relations, that is the University of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Russian Federation. I obtained a BSc diploma in International Economic Relations with specialization in trade policy. After Moscow, I decided that I need to travel to a more sunny place, which is located not far from the beach. So I moved to Barcelona, to Spain, where I obtained my master's diploma in business innovations. Regarding the languages I speak Hungarian and Russian language on a native level. Obviously, I speak English, Spanish on an intermediate level, and an elementary level of German. Next slide, please. In regards of my work experience, it has started in Russia, in the city of Moscow, from a company called Scoring Studio. That is a company which provided consultancy services in the field of credit risk management in the banking sector. I was a risk analyst there. So after I obtained my master's degree in Barcelona, I moved to Hungary, and I've started my career as an area manager of the CIS countries at the Hungarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Basically, my main goal at that workplace was to develop the bilateral economic relations between Hungary and the CIS countries, such as Russia, Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Belarus, and so on. At the age of 22, I have already represented the interests of Hungarian business during intergovernmental commissions, together with ministers and with state secretaries, as well as took part in several business and governmental delegations of Hungary. In 2020, when COVID began, I realized that I want to start something new. I want to challenge myself. Therefore, I joined the team of GANS Engineering and Energetics Machinery in Budapest, in Hungary. That is the enterprise of state corporation Rosatom, which is a manufacturer of pumping equipment for nuclear power plants. I was the project manager, and currently I'm a sales manager of business division power plants of Elin-Motoren in Austria. Next slide, please. Now I will give you a really short overview of my experience in machinery, starting with the manufacturing pumping equipment for MPPs at GANS, the corporation of Rosatom. Next slide, please. I was at GANS, I was a project manager for pumping equipment manufacturing. The pumping equipment was a safety classified equipment with safety class 3 and 4, adhering to Russian standard MP00115. I think that a lot of you are familiar with the standard. So basically my main responsibilities included, but were not limited to coordinating project teams to ensure timely delivery of design documentation, procurement, production, quality assurance and compliance with Russian and European standards, as well as the contractual requirements. I was managing project finances and risks to ensure successful completion within budget and schedule, ensuring compliance with requirements and standards and regulations of the Russian State Atomic Energy Corporation, Rosatom. For me, the main challenging part was that, first of all, as you have seen, I'm not an engineer, and I was the only female project manager at the company. And I led a project management team in total of 40 people, 40 men, 40 men. So that was quite challenging, but thanks to the mentorship of my fellow female colleagues from the turbine technologies, from Atom Energomaschinen, and from GANS, I could become successful in that job. Next slide, please. My main projects included back then Akuyu MPP. There I was responsible for manufacturing and delivery of 5 types of pumping equipment. Paks NPP in Hungary, Eldeba NPP in Egypt, and back then when the contract was still in force, Hanhikivi NPP. Next slide, please. Now, a really short overview of my experience in manufacturing electrical equipment for NPPs at Elin-Motoren. Next slide, please. Currently, I am a sales manager, which sometimes might seem to be an easy job because, okay, my main goal is to sign a contract at the end. However, there are some essential steps. First of all, the offer preparation, which consists of preparing the electrical design of the equipment, making sure that all of the costs have been calculated correctly. The costs not only related to work hours, which will be needed to execute the projects, but also to the costs of materials, such as, for instance, if we're speaking about the housing of the motors, or for instance, stainless steel or just regular steel, and so on. And of course, in my job, communication is the key, because I need to build and maintain really strong relations, not only with my internal colleagues, but also with the customers and other interested stakeholders. Next slide, please. There I have quite a few projects. So those projects which I'm showing you now, I've already signed some contracts for those. So as you see, the projects are really based worldwide. Yeah, we have some projects in France, in Hungary, in China, in Turkey, of course, in Egypt, in the UK, in Argentina, in Brazil, as well as in Bulgaria. However, I have also offered for various other projects, for instance, for some let's say US projects, or some other European projects, or even for some projects in the Middle East. Therefore, it is essential to be aware of all of the international regulations in that sphere, especially in terms of safety of the equipment. Next slide, please. Now I would like to give you, my fellow colleagues and future colleagues, a few pro tips which are based on my professional experience. Next slide, please. In regards of the professional tips, first of all, I would like to emphasize that prioritize safety in every action. That is essential, because you are anyhow related to the safety of the equipment, to the safety of other people. What I mean by that, for instance, if you're preparing a document, always think about all of the negative outcomes which might occur. If you're preparing the design of the equipment, always think about all of the accidental conditions which might occur. If you're somehow related to procurement, always ensure that you choose the right supplier, so that the safety can be assured. The second tip, which is also essential as well, is to treat every single document as if it's for court tomorrow, as if it's you will need to hand them to a judge tomorrow, because of course, safety first. So if you have all of the documents prepared, you are on the safe side, and you always need to done your work transparently, so that everyone can understand on which stage your project is. And of course, for you, that will be much easier to understand things, to control things. The third tip I would like to give you is to communicate. Always communicate with your colleagues. Always communicate with all of the stakeholders of the projects, and always prioritize face-to-face communication. The fourth tip is never fear admitting when you do not know something. It is totally fine not to know everything. For instance, I'm not an engineer. Yeah, I didn't know a lot of technical aspects during the project execution. However, I made sure that I always knew where to find the answers or whom to ask. Remember, communication is key. So it's essential to know whom to ask if you're not sure about something. The fifth tip is to not be afraid to make mistakes. Trust me, you will make mistakes. That is totally fine. The only person who doesn't make any mistake is a person who doesn't work at all. But if you made a mistake, make sure to let your supervisor know about that, because transparency and honesty is key. And trust me, when people see that, okay, you made something wrong, but you admitted it and you're honest, they can rely on you. So that is essential. And the sixth professional tip of mine is to keep calm no matter the circumstances. Even when you feel that everything is on fire around you, always stay cool. Stay cool. Everything will be fine at the end of the day. So never stress out about anything. Next slide, please. And now I would like to share some of my personal insights from one woman to fellow women, which I think are really essential to highlight. So the first one is always prioritize inner balance. What I mean by that is that every person has two kind of energies. So we have the more feminine side in ourselves and the more masculine side. Of course, at work we always show our masculine side, but it is essential to stay balanced, because when you are mostly masculine and you cannot let yourself be relaxed, be feminine, that might really affect every relationship you have. It might affect even your well-being, even your physical condition. So ladies, when you get home, just relax. Let yourself be a woman. Let yourself be feminine. Do not overstress about anything. If you want to, I don't know, watch some Netflix, just do that. If you want to go to a thermal bath, just do that. Trust me, that is essential. You will understand that with time. The second insight I would like to share is that it is essential to always be proud of your work. What I mean by that, whenever you're stressed or whenever you're upset, and trust me, those times you will have at work, that is totally okay. But always think about the enormous contribution you make for the future. For example, in my case, since I was pretty much involved in manufacturing pumping equipment and now electric motors, I always think about the following. Who knows what will happen in 30 or 40 years? Maybe I will not be even here. Who knows? That's life. But thinking about the equipment which will be still operating in 30 and 40 years, assisting in providing electricity to homes, hospitals, and schools, that really makes to feel me to be part of something bigger. It is so great to just think about it. Trust me, you will love your work even more when you think about that one. And the third personal insight of mine is, ladies, please always support fellow women at workplace, because you know we all facing the same issues. Most of us have the same troubles, the same difficulties. Therefore, it is essential for us just to have a safe place at our workplace. And it is just so cool to share with fellow women our thoughts, our emotions. So please support each other every time. Next slide, please. Ladies, always remember, if you can imagine something, you really have the power to achieve it. And now I would like to show you just a really short video, which always inspires me. That is a commercial video. Could you please open the video?
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Show me what it looks like to fight like a girl. Now throw like a girl.
Aww.
So do you think you just insulted your sister?
No. I mean, insulted girls, but not my sister.
My name is Dakota, and I'm 10 years old.
Show me what it looks like to run like a girl. Throw like a girl. Fight like a girl. What does it mean to you when I say run like a girl?
It means run fast as you can.
Yep, thank you.
Каталин, мы благодарим вас за такую прекрасную презентацию.
Kathleen, we thank you for this beautiful presentation. Actually, I think we can retrieve the video. I think the women's agenda always implies a win-win strategy. It's when women are establishing a sound, creative, supportive environment for themselves where there is no competition, especially in those companies that are indeed dominated by males. due to their large numbers. And well, the technological sector is by and large considered to be the men's world. That is not good or bad. That stereotype is now being is actually disrupted. But we work with many students of technical universities to solve the issues and projects, and we hear many professionals tell us about how they had developed and to come up with a better version of themselves. And nowadays they act as mentors. Let's thank Kathleen once again for these beautiful advices that tips that she provided us with. Thank you very much. Yes, Kathleen, thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce this next speaker, Natalia Konovalova. She is the HR director of Akuyu JSC. I work for the Director General's office, actually. Well, we wish you to develop. Right from the onset, I'm actually providing the grounds for the of new professional careers, of making new professional career steps. Natalia, let's talk about the kind of current career growth opportunities that your company is providing. What kind of portrait of women that you see every day working with people? As you work with people every day, what kind of women's portrait of what is the women's or female portrait of the Akuyu project, of the large-scale Akuyu project? Good afternoon, dear audience, dear ladies and girls. The previous presentation and speech was absolutely shocking. It was beautiful. I will tell a bit about myself and then we will go on. I'm the construction engineer. I graduated from the Krasnoyarsk Construction Institute quite a few years ago. Since 2000, I worked for the Rosatom Corporation. Prior to that, I worked for the Roscosmos, and I work for the mining and chemical. I used to work for the mining chemical enterprise, and then I'm here. Now I'm here for 4 years. I started in the areas. I started working there of economics and construction. When working for Rosatom, I was heading up the capital investments areas. Since I'm a systemic person, I'm constantly looking for something new. I mastered the document turnover and control area, and I used to work. I was a subordinate of my key mentors, Mr. Sakharov. He was the director of the government expertise and supervision. So I owe everything I know and I am to him. I came to Rosatom as a professional at the I'm heading up the secretariat of the Director General of Rosatom, and I'm also in charge of the document turnover. And back when I came to Rosatom, our team consisted of only 4 persons, and only 2 of those 4 persons came together with me to Rosatom. I'm very thankful to them. because the other two people did not want to walk on the same, take the same way with us. Our team is multinational. When it comes to my relations with my subordinates, I first and foremostly I treat them with respect, and I also lead by my example. I never am embarrassed to tell my girls I love them very much. I call them girls. I visit all the divisions every morning, wishing them a good day. Every evening, I always visit all of them to wish them a very good evening. My girls are super professionals, in my opinion, because initially I provided them with this kind of foundation. I've always said that we're not we are not an ordinary office. We are the most responsible and intelligent people because we are responsible for everything. There has never been a single erroneous document. Every document has always reached its ultimate goal. So my girls know every document. They know all the documents in and out. They are familiar with all the processes as well as all the technicians or technical personnel members that work in our company. Once again, I'd like to say that the team is always based upon the trustworthy relations. Kathleen beautifully said that we should never be embarrassed to say that we do not know something. I say this very often. I get lots of people come to me throughout every day. And if I am not competent when it comes to any issue, I'm never embarrassed to say that. I always am ready to learn somebody's experience. And I always tell my girls, don't be afraid not to know something. Be afraid of not wanting to learn something new. That's the most dreadful thing. Be afraid of not wanting to develop. Be afraid of losing your interest for life and work. If you notice that you're burning out, let's move forward. Let's conquer the universe. And this is probably it. Also, I'd like to say something for our girls and women, for our current staff members and the future ones. Don't be afraid to come to the beautiful to the beautiful staff. Always learn something new, and most importantly, you will reach whatever results if you have a desire and ability to work on a team. Thank you very much. Thank you, Natalia, very much. That was a vivid confirmation of the fact that a warm and friendly team is waiting for you. It's important to be part of a team where women are waiting to support you. It's important to come up with a comfortable and environment when your team is an extension of your family and you come every day to your workplace with your eyes sparkling. You understand that you're not alone in the world. There's a team that is ready to climb up any heights with you, and that is of course a win-win strategy. And within the framework of our activity, we are studying, we're scrutinizing a lot of analytical notes, and we scrutinize different practices throughout the world, and we understand that once a woman is developing, she will not put up with other ambitious women next to her. Well, actually, as large enterprises are implementing large-scale projects, and when we have such examples as the Director General being a lady is heading up a huge construction. I'd like to now carry on to Ebru Adigüzel, leading specialist in the Nuclear Safety Department of Akuyu JSC. I'd like to ask you a question. Have you been hesitant? Did you hesitate when choosing this kind of profession? Perhaps you ran into some stereotypes and barriers, perhaps at the stage back when you were gaining your education. How do you envisage your own development, and will you recommend girls to come to STEM to become part of such scalable technological stories? I was told to speak in Turkish, excuse me. US speakers can pick out any language you're comfortable with. We will support you speaking any language. Let's give her a round of applause. Thank you for this opportunity to speak in our native language. Good afternoon. I work as a specialist to control. I work as a nuclear fuel control specialist in the nuclear safety department at AKU. I have a lot of friends that actually went to Russia to study. My education journey to Russia started when I was in the second grade of Hacettepe Nuclear Energy Engineering, and I was informed at school about the students who wanted to be sent for training for the AKU project. It's not easy to be a woman in this sector if you consider the fact that we graduate from our universities being very young, and then we will have to work. When I was 2 years away from the end of my university education, I decided to go to a university education that would last for 6.5 years, and I had to start all over again, even knowing that it was an education in Russian, a language I did not even know, whose letters I did not even know, because I wanted to be one of the first Turkish nuclear engineers to work in the first nuclear power plant to be established in my country. For me, going to Russia for nuclear education was one of the most difficult decisions I had to make in my life. If I had stayed in Turkey, I would have been able to study for only 2 more years, then graduate from university and start working earlier. But my desire to study in a country that is so advanced in the nuclear field outweighed my desire, and I looked and I decided to go. I have never regretted this decision throughout my life. I wanted to do something useful for my country. I have worked non-stop for this. There is only one way to achieve success. No fancy word, just work tirelessly in all circumstances, even at the most inconvenient times for you, until you get what you want. When I was asked to prepare a speech on successful women leaders, the first person who came to my mind was my mother. She was a woman who was not educated because well, it's a great joy that our management, our leadership is promoting us, supporting us, and I'm very proud of that. At the same time, Tatiana Feodorovna Makarchuk is also one of my previous leaders. She always comes to our aid to help us. Thank you very much for that. When talking about success, the first person I think about is my mother. When I decided to study at the university for 6.5 years, since she only graduated from the elementary school, she did not have an opportunity to continue her education. And when I was over in Russia, she actually graduated. She graduated from school, and then she graduated from the university. I had to graduate with the highest level of excellency, with the red diploma, and I did so. And when we live and exist in a routine type of lifestyle, and you know, and there I write articles, I develop projects, and the secret to success is that you should only continue. You should continue going on. You should move forward. For example, this could be something very simple. For example, the sports competition. I decided to be the first person. I decided to champion ping pong, for example, and I learned ping pong, and I championed in this area. This is a small thing, but it's indicative of your ambition. And on top of that, in 2023, I participated in the Science and Youth 12 competition in Glasgow, Russia, and my project was awarded. We were offered an opportunity to author an article together with our supervisors, and so we did so, and the article was published by a scientific journal. This is how we are developing, moving forward, and we as women should develop and go forward and be proud of ourselves. I'm listening to our speakers, and just see how beautiful, how energetic, invigorating are these girls that are operating and working in our sector. Let's give her a round of applause once again. It's beautiful that using our personal experience, using the insights that we have had as we went on, moved forward on this way, and it would be great. It's great that our participants can sit with us, telling about their career journey. Initially, I told you, dear participants, that a year ago we started talking a lot about the international cooperation and the ideology of women from different countries in STEM, because it's very appealing to see the cultural differences. We all are different. We envisage women's leadership in a different way in different countries, and we're also discussing that. But it's great to get together on different platforms to discuss the best practices, share our experience, and even argue sometimes on how to do it best. And so now I'd like to introduce the great speaker, Geni Irina Sunario, Head of Women's Capacity Development Department, Nuclear Community of Indonesia, HIMNI. We have been cooperating with Geni Rina for many years, and she's an ambassador. I'm not afraid of calling her this way, as well as a member of our International Council for women's support, supporting to provide regarding mentorship and how women can go forward to build their career journey. Jenny, over to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Alexandra, for introducing me. Ladies, beautiful ladies, good afternoon. And thank you so much for having me in here. My name is Geni, and I'm still working as the now professional researcher in the Indonesia Nuclear Energy Agency. And then I've been working there almost maybe next year on March, it will be my 40 years. So 40 years. I've been working in that agency actually. And of course, I'm having a long historical experience on what I was doing in there. The first one, my background actually is a chemist. It's a chemist, and at the time I didn't know what I can do with the nuclear. But after I entering the nuclear agency, I know that there are so many applications on the radiation, so many application radiation on non-energy one. So I started my research on that, the application of radiation on non-energy one, such as to produce radiopharmaca for radiotherapy for cancer, etc. And then I have an opportunities to continue my study in Japan. You know that Japan has a very unique, maybe Sonia is more professional than me. She can speak Chinese. So she knows how difficult is the Chinese character. It is the same with the Japanese character because they both use Chinese character. So I have to been through on the languages, but I kept my study and then I finished my PhD on nuclear engineering in Tokyo University, Japan, when I was 30 at the time. Then I back to Nuclear Energy Agency, and then I've been moved to the Nuclear Technology and Safety Center. So I have to switch my work, of course, but still on the chemistry point of view. For what? For make assure that the nuclear power plant can be operated safely for a long, for maybe more than 30 years or something like that, through a very appropriate how to maintain the cooling system of the NPP. Like in the morning, we saw the Akuyu NPP. I was so impressed. Then it is the one of the type of the nuclear power plant which use the water as the cooling system. That's my field actually. Then in my career, I was also when I finished my study from Japan, I was appointed to be a speaker to debate for the Greenpeace. You can imagine I was so young at the time, 30 years old, and I have only very small knowledge about the nuclear, and then I have no idea about the social, politics, and culture that is facing for Indonesia at the time. But I have to answer the debate with anti-nuclear at the time. So, but it is very challenging me. I studied so much about the social, politics, and the culture of Indonesia. And then during that time, I know step by step what is the challenging of Indonesia. Why Indonesia until now, after 50 years, 10, we still don't have the NPP in Indonesia. So the factor of the reason is not the technology one, but the cause is because social, politics, and the culture of Indonesia that should be not should be fixed, but we have to do some dissemination more stronger in Indonesia. So in my career, after I designated to be a director of the nuclear reactor technology and safety, at the time, you know that the chemistry people in that center is very, we can count under our fingers, very small one. But I have to manage around 100 staff on there, and this is challenging for me. I have at the time I think that I have to create the project that always asks from the anti-nuclear. They always ask some question. If we are having the NPP, is the Indonesian human resources understand enough or capable enough to face the disaster that can be caused by the nuclear power plants? And then they always ask, because almost all the Indonesia, I mean that the educational level or percentage in Indonesia, maybe only 10% is education one. And then recently we got that the average education in Indonesia, I mean 278 million population in Indonesia. So the average education is only grade 7. So you can imagine how low is the average education in Indonesia from the 278 million population. So this is our challenging also. And then at the time when I was a director, I want to show them that the human resources of Indonesia is capable enough to understand well about the NPP. That's why at the time I created the design team. What design? Design for NPP. So at the time I started to create this is our design. This is our NPP design. And then it was success actually. And then our design already listed in the International Atomic Energy Agency book. So Indonesia already listed as the becoming one of the country that created a small power reactor of nuclear power plant. So I was so happy at the time. So I already I can show to the Indonesian public, Indonesian public, that Indonesian human resources is capable enough for the NPP. So actually we are ready to have the NPP. So after I finished as a director at the time, I do realize that the challenges of having the NPP Indonesia is not from the technical point of view. The other, non-technical one, politics one, social, and also, I mean the level education, how mostly the public of Indonesia knows about nuclear. If I ask the people of Indonesia, so when I got a taxi, I asked the driver, well, do you know about nuclear? Oh, nuclear is atomic bomb, something like that. So only that word that is still remain on their mindset, on their mind. So I do realize, so because this is only less than 10% of Indonesia is the having the high education. So that's why the taxi driver or maybe someone that I met in the bus, public bus, do not understand about nuclear. So after I finish as a director, I am active on the non-government organization. So beside the researcher, I also active in the NGO we called HIMNI, Indonesia Nuclear Society. And then I'm becoming the head or the leader for women development, for the nuclear women development on that association. So me and my husband created a webinar once a week to disseminate the nuclear. So every week we are having the followers, about maybe 400 participants to disseminate nuclear. Not only nuclear actually, we also ask the speaker who is coming or who is an expert on the electricity, who is an expert on the political, who is an expert on the science, who is an expert on the culture. So we can disseminate what is the challenges of having the nuclear power plant in Indonesia. And until now, we already created more than 150 webinars with different topics. And I hope that we can continue. And because of that also, we get the MOU with Alexandra, Woman in Nuclear Russia, 2 years ago, yeah, we started. And then we keep sharing knowledge with the Russian women who are dealing with the nuclear, or not only nuclear, but also STEM. And after that also, I do realize that the education percentage, educational people in Indonesia only less than 10%. And then this morning, I saw the AKU, the AKU, and I do realize that the education for nuclear should be initiated from the beginning. So from the elementary school, secondary school, etc. And then on Monday, I got impressed with the SONA presentations. Thank you, SONA, for your presentation on nuclear goes to school. Actually, at that time, our institute already initiated that such kind of program, nuclear goes school. So we go to the elementary school, secondary school to disseminate the nuclear with happily, by playing a game, etc. at the time. But because of the pandemic, we only can implement it in 3 years. And now after this morning and then heard the SONA presentation, I think that I will start it again or review what we have to do on nuclear goes to school. And then I hope that under this, there is a slide. Please, the next slide. This is, this is the figure of the what we have done starting on 2018 until 2020. So before the pandemic. So we have 44 trained teachers. Not only go to the elementary school and secondary. Also we have we train the teachers, because teachers also the person who is who has to be educated with the nuclear. And then next slide, please. So on 2020, we celebrate or we initiated the workshop for science teachers and facility visit to our visit. Indonesia has 3 research reactor. So we invite them to see how is the nuclear reactor is. And then the third one is nuclear goes to school. So we go to the students to initiate some games, etc. So the numbers of the participants you can see in here, and year by year, of course, it will increase. Next slide, please. Yeah. And then how about in 2020 when the pandemic? So we switched the method. We do the training by using the Zoom, etc. Yeah, but keep maintain that program. Next slide, please, because we are limited time. Yeah, this is for the teachers and then the students. Every maybe once a month, I think. Next slide, please. Yeah, and then we do also the virtual activities to educate the student by 3D real interactive webinar session, poster and video exhibition, real-time live chat, etc. And then based on this activity also, and plus this morning we saw the AKU, I do understand that the nuclear knowledge should be educated to the people, I mean to the Indonesian people from the beginning. That's why nuclear goes to school is one of the proposal that we can do together under the Alexandra International Council, to be collaborated with Sonia also to continue the nuclear goes to school Indonesia. I think thank you so much for your attention. I hope that the experience what we have done in Indonesia can be a good lesson learned for us. Thank you.
Геня, спасибо вам большое за тот колоссальный вклад, который...
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you for this contribution. Your company, your specialists are contributing to this, and thank you. Yes, women in STEM, women in leadership and technology. We are going to continue with these experts in some time, and we will ask our participants who are here online from different parts of the world do not leave us for too long. We are going to continue our broadcast of the international dialogue that unites the women of Russia and Turkey in nuclear, along with other partners from different parts of the world.
Мы продолжаем нашу вторую часть международной сессии «Энергия сотрудничества женщин в высокотехнологичных отраслях». Я сейчас буду знакомить наших дорогих участников, которые с нами в онлайне и очно.
So we have the next cohort of speakers here, and for those people who have just joined us, I would like to say that we are broadcasting in English, Russian, and Turkish languages, the language that you are convenient speaking and listening to. So our session is full of, is bright and women from Turkey, from Russia, and our partner countries. Like in continuation of our dialogue, I would like to speak about the highly industrial and technical parts and the motivation and other. In the very first session of today, we have listened to many insights and many advices from our valuable speakers. I would like to introduce a second speaker, Yelena Zakaputska, the head of Department of the Internal Communication, DCM Energy. Now, Lena, we are happy to greet you. Let's continue this dialogue and speak about how women achieve success in this sector of economy, how they build their careers. We would be happy to listen to your insights and speak about this your path. And in the field of internal communication, I speak to people and how women feel themselves in the field of STEM. 1, 2, test, yes. Hello, beautiful woman. I would like to first of all start with this words of thanks to organizers, because it's the first time when I participate, and I was listening to the previous speakers. It was so goal-oriented, so cool experience, professionals. Like, I have this, goosebumps, and I'm here with you in this on this stage. So why with such high respect I treat this woman? Because, well, I am a woman myself, and I see and I feel how difficult it is. And when you think about what to cook for the dinner, how you have to raise your children, you have to take care of yourself, of your husband, of your friends, and so on. And then you also still have to think about how you build your careers and, well, work eventually. And of course, it is very difficult. And honors and kudos to those people who can do that. Well, what I want to say else, I would like to speak about my experience. I would like to focus on some life rituals that are important, maybe for you or for people around you. I was studying as a law professional in St. Petersburg. When I came to Sosnovo Bor, it's a small city in Leningrad's Oblast. There was a Leningrad nuclear plant number 2, now the 3rd block will be built. I know that many of you have heard about it, because in Akkuyu, Turkey, from Sosnovo Bor, my compatriots are working here. Because of family issues, I couldn't leave Sosnovo Bor city, and there we had some limitations in terms of where we could work, as you understand, in the small town. And I could get a job. I said, like, Titan 2, don't go there to this holding. Everything is like, there's also a relationship and so on. But still, I went there. Why I'm saying that? Because whenever people tell you that, don't believe that. Go and I applied once, twice, 3 times, and so whoever is having an objective, this person always will get it. I received a call and I was offered, I remember, the secretary for 2 weeks during the vacation of the president. I rejected this proposal. I said to her, no, I with such an experience, I'm not a secretary for 2 weeks. No, thanks to my parents. This is about support, of course, from the older generation. And we spoke about, the mentorship, and they will basically convince me, somehow surprisingly, and that I need to try. You need to show yourself, you need to, yes, and indeed, it happened. And I worked for 2 weeks as a secretary, and my superior went to the HR. If you have any positions, this person is a responsible person, and they characterized me as very positive individual. And then it turned out maybe there's a destiny in play, I don't know, in the life of everyone of us, that there was a vacancy available, and because of experience, I wasn't fitting there. But the manager talked to me, and she, as she explained later, she enjoyed, how she'd say, openness, maybe not, that was another word, I think, but it's a kind of synonym of the word openness. And so please consider this. Sometimes it works, and you may not know something, as it was also mentioned by the speakers before, but you somehow can conquer the minds and the hearts of the manager that you talk to. I went and started to work as a HR specialist. It was something unknown to me, and there's nothing impossible, as it was also said. If you have a willingness and you have an objective, you can do that. Now, my colleagues were telling me that, okay, well, now this, you are going to be HR specialist because nobody will see you, and you are the girl, you are having a child, and so on, and you understand well that what of the stories entails. I said, okay, well, fine, we will see how it goes. And I was doing everything on time, as many of my other colleagues. I also wanted to kind of initiate something new in play there, and I was suggesting something, some new policies, some new norms. We were improving the processes in our department internally, and there you show your superior that you are not just specialist, but you can do something more than that. And I started to grow slowly but surely. I received some categories, I don't know the titles and so on. And later I was a little bit bored. I wanted to develop something more. And that was an example of how, let's say, that you need to develop. And you don't have to be scary. You don't need to be afraid. I'm going to be excited now. I set up a youth movement in Sosnovo Bor of the holding Titan 2. We started with the small events where we would kind of, do some volunteering jobs. Then we had the New Year parties, and we had rather big events. I have the scenarios, and everything worked very well. Yes, later we have this, KVN team, which is like a team of the stand-up comedians. I never went to this scene, and I'm kind of excited, and I make a reservation here because that's an example of how you need to try it. It has, okay, it didn't work, no worries. Nobody would laugh at me. Everyone is adult, and we're not children here. But it turned out that we could do it. I mean, maybe at the local level we could be engaged, and people enjoyed that, and maybe wouldn't be Maslikov as a stand-up comedian at the first TV channel, but still in Sosnovo Bor people enjoyed us, enjoyed our humor. Later, I decided to go for a member of parliament in the local community, and they said, no, you cannot do it, you cannot compete against men because certain there are stereotypes. And yes, indeed, the stereotypes exist. I'm not going to trick you on that. Yes, in the policy, in the politics, they say that the men are basically kind of more professional, let's say. But in my experience, I couldn't qualify as a member of parliament. But I think my example showed that everything is possible. Just 4 votes was missing. We would go with the young person, and then I had chances. It were 4 votes that I have missed. I'm not sorry that I didn't become a member of parliament locally. I think maybe it's easier for men, maybe, well, less emotional, I don't know. Well, whenever I kind of organized something, I showed my management that I have organizational skills and leadership skills. If people come with me, then respectively when the vacancy for the department was open, I was offered that. I was afraid a lot indeed. I'm not, with simple language. I'm not boasting here. I was very, concerned. The department was huge, and Natalia was speaking about it. I think in something similar, what kind of environment we had, and the functionality was the same in a way, and the organization was a little bit slow, and I remember this woman, the team members, and it was so strong, and to show the principles and so on. And one more thing. Yeah, I do understand the time is limited. I really want to emphasize that I would work in parallel with as assistant to the general director, general manager. If somebody is looking out there exploring, as I can say about this, that morally it's very difficult indeed, and that so I don't want to go back to that. I worked 10 years as a PA to GM, and I can say only one thing: it gave me a lot to try, and I learned how to build a proper communication with the senior leadership, and this helps me now in the project here. What to say, how to address something, what time should be there. You need to work with documents. You need to understand how you need to master multitasking. Sometimes you fix the problems and challenges that are unsolvable, kind of in the first, seemingly unsolvable, and this helps me a lot now. I wanted to kind of try myself in international project. Whenever I wanted to do that, all of this, tasty and flavory kind of positions were already be kind of occupied. And then I was offered to be a key expert. It was kind of a downgrade for me, and but morally also, and with my ambitions, I wanted to say no. You see, and my elders convinced me to apply, still to go. If you want to try it, you will still grow. And I came in March, and in October I went to that station of the head of the department. I don't have employees yet. They are being aligned and approved. I am kind of getting my team still at the moment, and because without a team it's difficult. One soldier in the field is not a soldier. I mean, one warrior is not enough. It's difficult, yes. I now hope that these examples, simple ones, will help you, your friends, your close ones, your kids. Don't be afraid. Don't be bold. And try to ask questions if you don't know, and then you'll move forward. Thank you. This is so inspiring speakers, like a round of ovations, please. Yes, as they say, you have to be with someone to be able to do that. And of course, without experience, we wouldn't be able to open up these new ways and these horizons. And that I think out there, you need to work hard and you need to go there. And absolutely, everything will work out. I now would like to introduce our next speaker, engineer, environmentalist Jay Holding Altonai, and we will ask her to, well, again, of course, give a round of applause for our next speaker. Women in environment, there are plenty of them, and we know there are many of women who implement the projects on related on environment, and they also become the nominees for the Nobel laureate. Semika, please share your experience in this world. How did you choose this position for yourself? Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm a little bit excited now. Let's throw on our slides. First of all, would like to, of course, thank the organizers. It's one of the important topics in nuclear energy and the power of women. I think it gives us value. I would like to thank you all for this opportunity. Now, I would like to start with my name is Semika Altunay. I'm environmental engineer. So I am involved in energy, and we women are always open to innovation, to self-exploration, to be better in terms of our standards. Because given, of course, the way how we are going to develop ourselves, and we will be able to pass these values to our next generation. Of course, it is also important thing to understand how important is the innovation indeed. I work as an environmental engineer at the moment, and when we speak about self-development, we speak about it a lot. And when we do not develop, everything stays the same, nothing moves. Therefore, they say that there's a phrase, whatever can be done. Whatever not impossible will take just some time, and I think we can get it done anyways.
aslında olması gereken biraz kendimizin, şu anki varlığımızın farkında olmak. Şu anda ben biraz araştırma yaptım. Kadın
I think what we
hakları,
need to have now is
Avrupa Birliği ülkelerinde yaklaşık 18 milyon bilim insanı,
we need to have this research.
kadınlardan
In
oluşuyor.
EU, there are 18 million
Gördüğü şekilde
engineers and scientific workers, and 41% of them are women. In Turkey,
bir adım daha
44%
gerekmektedir.
of workers are women, but that is not enough. We need to self-develop. In Turkey, there is a 1.2 million engineers and scientific workers. Out of them is over 500 men and over 400 women.
Bilim dünyasına yön veren kadınlar var.
The women who have the strength in the scientific works.
Devam etmek isterseniz tamam. Bilim dünyasında biliyorsunuz birçok kadın öncülük etmiş, birçok konularda bilim teknik.
We know there are many women in the field of science and technology. They work in different parts of science. And what are the qualities that this woman have? I mean, if you look at their characteristics, first of all, I think they have passion. If you don't have the passion to what you do, is willingness to dream, consistency, resolution. If you have these skills, then for sure you will be able to achieve whatever you have thought of. At the same time, the general, features, I think, of the woman, they like to explore, they observe, they are inquisitive, and I think this is what makes us successful. We never kind of satisfy ourselves with the theoretical knowledge at the moment. We must work hard, and everyone has these qualities, I think. But I would like to say that don't be afraid of the mistakes. You have to learn from these mistakes, and you have to move forward. And if you do something, then we can improve it also. And
Спасибо большое. У нас прям такая вторая часть нашего международного диалога.
we have this great dialogue now.
И это прекрасно, что мы сегодня слышим не только
We hear this not only stories about professional development, but I think success stories.
Мы в рамках нашего проекта «Женские лица атомной отрасли» проводим интервью с большим количеством.
So we have the number of interviews with specialists and so on who go and popularize these professions. So it is good to have this trajectory when you have a role model that you could be inspired by. Now let's give a round of applause again for these personal stories. I would like to continue and present to you the next speaker. We will be kind of now moving with you a little bit to education, to the professor studies, and we have two speakers, professors, both of them, who can share this fundamental knowledge. I would like to introduce to you Nejmi Kankatan, Dean of the Pharmaceutical Faculty of the University Medicine. If I mispronounce your surname, I'm so sorry for that. The floor is yours, and we are going to ask to run the presentation.
Please a presentation. Please speak and the technical specialist show your presentation.
It's related with Benim hem PowerPoint sunum var hem de PDF olarak var.
So I have a PowerPoint and a PDF file. Which one? Hello. Would like to, of course, greet you all in the first place, and this committee. Thank you for organizing and giving me this opportunity to deliver my speech here. Thank you. Well, when I was invited to this event, I was looking at the topics, and they were related to energy, and I said what I could explain here in my field of studies. Please. So I am a professor of pharmacy, pharmacology, and I work at the Faculty of Pharmacy at the Mersin University. So, I would like to speak about pharmacology a little bit and the way how it can be impacted by nuclear technologies. Now, all of it are, everything is aware, everyone is aware, but I just would like to highlight this. What is radiopharmacology? Now, this is the use of the radioactive materials for the treatment and diagnostics of certain diseases. Now, this is the pharmacology part. And what is, yes, next slide, please. Pharmacology is related to what? It is related to nuclear healthcare. Now, to be able to diagnose the cancer, it was used, nuclear energy was used for the treatment and for the diagnosis. The nuclear healthcare are those methods that are directed to the pharmacology of these centers, these treatments that are improving the physiological and molecular processes in the organism. So we are using radioactive molecules. Now, what it is trusted molecules. I know that many of you have been to the clinics in the CT and MRI rooms, and you have came across this diagnostic. So here they use the radioactive elements, radiopharmacology, as I was saying in this part, and for the treatment, they can be radioactive. The synthetic was a radioactive that is using. We are, as pharmacologists, are these authorized individuals able to do that? As a pharmacologist, you need to receive 5 years of studies and then become a specialist in the nuclear healthcare. Nuclear pharmacologist is very important direction, the nuclear pharmacologist. Now, what does the job implies? The radioactive medications, drugs, you can order them, you can buy them, you can ensure it is in its inventory and keep it, store it. The radioactive elements have special conditions in terms of storage. And to have this you need to have this education and authority. Now, it is not only the development, but also the functional control that are also requires. Other than that, the packaging of the radio pharmacology products and medication drugs, the way how the stickers are applied, the marketing, and the shipping. This is also radiopharmacologists are in charge of this process, because whenever the problem happens, it's a huge problem that may happen, because of the certain miscalculation of the problem. At the same time, rather than this, you need to make sure that you can again ship them properly. The delivery has to be under control, and the radiopharmacologists are specialists in the field of their own business, and they share this information again through training sessions. Some of you probably have heard about it as his presentations before, for example, physician radiologists or doctor radiologists. So this is a pharmacologist, and they have this information. Other than that, you need to apply necessary measures. If you have the biopsy, or if there is, and you would like to check person on the matter of cancer, you need to use CT, MRI, and after that, you need to obviously prepare the person, and so on. So you need to work with the patient, because the patient is basically receiving a radioactive substance. So of course, if you can take the necessary conditions, you need to apply necessary elements. And radio pharmacologists also work in this regard. The radio information, this nuclear information plays a major role in this process, because the radio pharmacologist can work with the new procedures, developing aspects and new concepts and new control and quality assurance aspects. These are the areas where pharmacologists can help you. Now, I was said in the beginning of my presentations that I looked at the topic today, and when we speak about energy, and of course, as a pharmacologist, where I can develop myself, and we do understand the importance of these topics, of the disciplines. I spoke about the pharmacologist, but let's say the other topic I think is important is about the leadership and about the skills and the talent of our women. And I would like to conclude the speech with these words. I think for a woman to be successful, in the very first place, you need to have a family that values you so much, and it starts actually from the very beginning of the early age of this goal. And I was very happy to have parents like this. And from the very beginning of my life in Turkey, they sent me to the best schools available, and I was studying hard, and I always felt the heartfelt support of my parents. And I am a daughter of a teacher, and my father was saying that the best investments, the best heritage you can deliver to your kid is education. So, of course, then my husband and my two girls, my two daughters, of course, have been with me during all this journey. And I think when I was listening to the presenters earlier, they were very clear, crystal clear, and in what they say. And I would like to thank them all. I think it's a big success story. I think for all of us to be able to trust ourselves, to believe in ourselves, and I think we need to keep our family together. But today, there are also people who are standing around us. I mean, people who support us, not necessarily our family. Sometimes we cannot dedicate enough time to them. And I would like to say, thanks to my parents, to my husband, to my children, to be able here to be here in this environment. Thank you for this opportunity, dear all. And I would like to, again, say appreciation to all the committee members. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much for such interesting presentations that you have prepared for our today's dialogue. Thank you indeed. It was incredible. Now, in the end, you absolutely rightly mentioned that there was continuous development that we need to have. I think all of our parties, they know this lifelong learning, and when a person kind of updates its own skills and talents in this ever-changing world where we see the only base education or two, fundamental education is not enough anymore. And that person who sees for himself maximum kind of, conquering the heights, and you need to understand that you cannot stand still. You need to run and run quite quickly. And this capital, intellectual capital that will help you develop, of course, this is critical. And this capital is what? Is your skills and your knowledge. Therefore, whenever we have an event like this, we always focus on the fact that learning, studying, and studying hard again, because without this foundation, it will not be possible to kind of catch up with all of these change that surround us. So I would like to pass the floor to our next speaker, member of International Council that I have spoken about several times, Nejmi Kamoon, the representative and the professor of the Faculty of Physics of Tunisia University, El Manar. Well, Nejma, and Nejma is also ambassador of this woman agenda, our good friend, companion, partner, and within our international council to support women in industry. We have spoken a lot about this topic with her many times. Nejma, I know that you are already, yes, I think you have the presentation already up there. A woman in nuclear Tunisia, and she's representing that organization. She will be sharing with us the feedback of our today's get together, right? Thank you. Please, the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. Before starting my talk, I want to thank the organizing committee, especially Alexandra, to permit me to be with you today. And I'm really impressed by the Akkuyu station and by the dimension of collaboration between Russia and Turkey. And I hope that your station will finish very well. And also, I hope that this kind of collaboration with Russia and Turkey will be done with Tunisia. Now, my talk is entitled Advices Permitting to Promote Women's in Sustainable Development of Science and Technology. I want to thank you all to be present here today. Ladies, please accept my warmest regards for your participation in this event. Your presence will have a great impact on improving your personal profile. I congratulate each of you for your dedication to learn and develop yourself. Our discussion and exchange of knowledge between us creates an environment to increase your skills. It is an opportunity to support and encourage young moments. I will be delighted to interact with you in order to enrich your knowledge and build your perpetual growth. Center, okay. What about my experience? digging and understanding the fundamentals of science and having the curiosity to explore the unknown. I'm interested in transparent conductive oxides, binary semiconductors, ternary and quaternary. They are fascinating materials with great potential applications. I have a desire to contribute to scientific results, which leads to progress in relevant area. 6 opportunities for collaboration and funding research projects. Devotes himself to continuous learning and stays abreast of the latest developments in this field. I am director of synthesis of nanomaterials and semiconductor thin films layers for optoelectronic application research team. Since, sorry, here there is a mistake, since 22 years. At the Laboratory of Condensed Matter at the Faculty of Science of Tunis, University of Tunis Al-Manar. In the research team that I lead, I have installed 3 research areas. For the first one, it is related to the growth of nanomaterials, where 5 different synthesis techniques have been installed and are all functional. The second room were installed for different techniques, characterization like electrical analysis of nanomaterials, as well as the analysis of photovoltaic performances of solar cells. For the third research area is related on optical analysis and photoluminescence techniques. But in my professional journey, I had challenges and obstacles. All of these obstacles are well solved. What kind of nanomaterials? All these nanomaterials, binary, quaternary, mixed oxide, binary oxide, binary chalcogenide. What is the application of solar cells on detecting toxic gases, on the fabrication of electronic devices, on humidity sensing and bacteria annihilation? How improve your career? The question I ask to you. And I advise you to funding scholarships and financial support can help and encourage more women to pursue careers in science and technology. Offering skill development and training programs may help women to enhance their technical expertise and leadership skills, empowering girls to go more significant roles in their careers. Engaging in outreach activities is essential to promote science and technology among young girls that inspire future generations to pursue careers in this field. Creating also a safe and inclusive workplace culture is essential for fostering creativity and innovation. And my advice is, when faced with a problem, please seek to find a good solution with an open heart. Second advice, faced with challenges, remember that the perpetual advancement of science is due to the encountered problems. The third advice is, above all, be in contact with competent, active, and encouraging people who communicate you a positive energy. It is essential. Fourth advice, achieving balance in your professional life gives you a fulfilling and enthusiastic existence. Above all, please not underestimate yourself, both towards yourself and towards others. And thank you for your attention. Here is the view of sunset view in Hammamet, Tunisia. And thank you.
Nejwa, спасибо большое.
Nejwa, thank you very much. Our participants, other than the helpful advices, I am sure that they have heard the many interesting pieces of information. Now, for us, as you know, the large women association of professionals in Russia, it's very important to build, set up these platforms where we can see the ecosystem, how the woman support is extended with the leadership, of course, with the involvement of different parts of the individuals from different parts of the world. We have this opportunity for an open dialogue, and we have an opportunity to present our experience to young generation and so with this motivation and so on. So with the small and big success stories and victories that they would like to have in, for their professional works. Of course, this is a development of the career skills, getting the right examples, finding a mentor for themselves, and so on. We have this experience. Our international session and cooperation of the interest within which we were speaking a lot about the contribution of women in the science and innovation is over. And I would like to remind you that today's event was conducted with the support with Akkuyu Nuclear and Rosatom. And we would like to thank all our colleagues, speakers who have been here with us. Together, we have, I think, created this environment of the pure creativity and fellow companionship, and that shows here, not with words but with actions, that the agenda of the interest in women and the implementation of these projects, and most importantly, our international dialogue needs to be ongoing. Of course, our platform for the development of the woman in science and technology, we as a platform are very happy to see you as expert among ourselves, to those people who are happy to work with us, collect the best practice that are connected with the woman leadership, with the mentorship, within general development and of women. Our platforms are available in Russian and English. It's interesting to be with us, so join us. So of course we don't say bye, because the week of the women technological leadership, our international week, is still going on. It's just in the peak and stage, and with many of our people here online as well as our speakers, we will see at the concluding Russian part of the international forum, Women in STEM, in Moscow on December 15th, this Friday. The broadcast will be available also for the Russian and for the international participants. Please join us. Our dialogue is not over. We will continue on the Russian side in the Women in STEM platform. Thank you very much.